Hello and welcome to another unboxing and review video from BatmanOnFilm.com. I'm senior contributor Javi Trujillo, and today we're going to be looking at the brand new INART 1/12 scale Batman figure from The Dark Knight Rises. I got this from 1/6 kit because INART does not have the DC license for this scale in America, so they can't sell it direct. I had to go through another seller, and I used 1/6 kit, who I've used once before, and this just arrived a couple days ago, and I'm now going to take a first look. It came in an outer box, and having freed it from that, this is the box it shipped in. You can see I got the deluxe version, which has a couple extra faceplates. Labels the Dark Knight figure on the back or on the side, and over here as well. So 1/12 scale means that it's going to be a 6-inch figure. It's going to be an inch shorter than like your typical McFarlane. And I've got, obviously, if you've been on the channel, you've seen that I have the 2.0 Hot Toys from the Dark Knight Rises, or the Dark Knight Trilogy, I think they're calling that one. So why did I get this figure? Well, and I said to myself, I don't really need a 1/12 scale Bale when I've gotten like the perfect one from Hot Toys. But when I started seeing the early advanced reviews, like this just seemed something special. And given the fact that I don't have anything from INART yet, I wanted to give them a try. And the second part, or third or fourth part of all this, is this was really inexpensive for, I mean, it's expensive, but it was really inexpensive for what it is. Comparing it to like Mafex, who has some great Batman and Spider-Man and Superman figures and Marvel figures, this is going to be in that scale and in direct competition. And I think this was like a $20 deposit and then another $60 when it was finally ready. So much cheaper than you can get most Mafex from like US distributors. And this is the deluxe version, so it costs more than the standard one. But here is what it looks like outside of the secondary box. And there should be another box in here for us to take a look at with the figure itself. And never cut like that, kids, because you could get hurt. All right. So I've heard a lot about their 1/6 scale products, and they've been pretty fancy from what I've seen. So here is the Queen Studios INART 1/12 box. Pretty basic. Nice little shine on the logo, the silver logo. Again, deluxe version. A whole bunch of lettering and credits that I cannot read, which my ring light's not helping you see anyways. Sorry about that. But yeah, suitable for ages 14 and up. So Dark Knight Trilogy is mentioned. And I'll just free it from its plastic prison here. Breaking the seal. All right, so here is the tray. Kind of hard to make out everything just from this one look at it. You've got the two mouth plates, obviously Bale, grapnel gun, pulse, EMP, sticky bomb gun, lots of batarangs, different hands it looks like. And here on the back you can see, I'm assuming, the stand and the base and the alternate head. The tray system here is really nice. That gives it a little bit of extra security here. Instructions. Cape. Don't throw away, do not eat. We're getting the boring stuff out of the way. Here we have the base, Nice silver look to it. Oh, the bottom of the base has credits. Batman, in case you couldn't tell. And simply, it's very snug fit. And of course, Christian Bale head. That's really impressive, I gotta say. Got the neck brace on the back. That really looks like Christian Bale. That's the detail that they caught in it is pretty impressive. Yeah, this is a 1/12 scale Christian Bale, so the amount of detail and coloring and shading they got, this surpasses any face sculpt that I've seen at this scale from anything that I have in my collection. Even like the Mafex figures that I have, which are comic based, they don't look, the skin tones aren't as good. They don't look anything remotely like this. This is really impressive. All right, that's not what we're here for. Let's get Batman out. And yeah, we can go over these later. I mean, well, okay, let's get them out of the way now. The detail on these is, the detail on this is pretty nice. The Hot Toys one definitely collapses and moves. This does not feel like that, but this, again, that's a 1/6 scale. This is a 1/12 scale. So it doesn't have all the coloring that the Hot Toys one has, but it's still a really nice representation of it. The EMP. Now the Hot Toys one does light up and ratchets back. This does not. Did a good job on the coloring. It's not 1-for-1, but INART, Hot Toys, this should be half the size of this one. But you can see that the shading is, the paint is different shades. Obviously they're made by different people. But just to give you an idea of what we're looking at, a lot of the same, I mean, the same details are pretty much here. Obviously this one is got a whole lighting system, so lighting on this is not the best. In this light, it's hard to see how it picks up and makes those illuminate, but having that function is pretty neat, which is not something that this scale does. Turn that off. Yeah, so INART, Hot Toys. Obviously, we got the little red sight on this one, which the Hot Toys, it's a lot easier to spot. But again, no collapsing parts here versus the Hot Toys one can break off. You can see there's an actual targeting sign. And like all these pieces move around, so you can break it down and collapse it to be accurate, you know, to the movie. So it's not fair to compare this 1/6 scale thing to this 1/12 scale one, but as you can see, they've got some pretty similar features here. So the detail's good enough for what it is, I think. We got the mouth plates. Now, the Hot Toys obviously has more expressive mouths where you can see teeth. These almost look the same, but we're not going to mess around anymore. This is what you guys are watching. Here he is without his cape. Free him from all the little plastic. I mean, that's no pose at all. But obviously that range of motion on this, because it's not a suit, it's a toy, got some pretty good leg kick and extensions. He moves really well. So you can see some of the hinges here, how his shoulder pads go in and protect him. Arms bend really easily. Don't think you're clipping anything into the back like you can here on the Hot Toys, but this is actually like a pouch. These are fixed in here pretty well. And I like how they hide this torso movement. You can see there, you get a good twist out of them. Some details on the boots. Tread. I mean, what do you think? I think it looks like Christian Bale's Batman to me. Well, I'm eager to get the cape on him. Let's just do the, it came off really easy. Do the face plates really quick. You can see there's a little tab here where you can push that out. It's very similar to the Hot Toys version of it. I wish they had more expressions. I don't know if that gives you enough of a difference. Like, I don't know if that looks any different or not. I guess he's a little powdier in this one. It's really hard to tell. All right, cape time. So I've been looking at too many different INART figures and stuff. I thought maybe there was more than one cape. This just comes with a drape cape. So per the instructions, you just kind of pull everything back. This is, oh yeah, this is held in by magnets. I mean, it's so, okay. This is so well crafted in that I couldn't tell in the first place that it was a separate piece. Now that it's not sitting right, you can see where it lifts up, but they really use the sculpt of the armor to hide this really well. And man, those are powerful too. But that holds in with magnets. So these little divots here is where you will put the cape. Okay, so if it hooks in like so, hold on there, Batman. And so you get these pieces in. So they don't lock in, or at least it's not locking in for me. There we go. I guess I wasn't doing it right. That is not sitting flush at all. Let me try that again. All right, so there he is. Drape cape is in, draping very nicely. It's wow, it's really substantial. The amount of capage that this figure has. Holy cow. Just to give you an idea. That's a lot of cape. But it also just kind of folds in really nice. You know, I always meant to check too, how much does his cape drag when he's in this suit? Because this definitely is a little bit past floor length. I love the details here of the carbon fiber. The gold on the belt is a nice touch. But for a figure of this size, like this is really, really great texturing, and it hides so much. Now my old Dark Knight and Batman Begins, where were they? Hasbro? Kenner Movie Masterwork line. My Dark Knight version of the suit at least broke in half in storage somehow, so I don't really have him to compare. But I do have the more recent McFarlane Batman. So if you want to see how a Batman Begins suit fares against this INART, well, that's quite a substantial difference in size. Also with the wired cape makes for great posing. But like, how do they compare face sculpt wise? I mean, these are different masks. But you can clearly see how much taller the McFarlane is. So if you wanted to put this guy with, say, your McFarlane Joker or Two-Face, he's obviously going to look really short. All right. I got him out of the storage box. It's the Mattel, you can see where he's broken in half. It's the Mattel Movie Masters line. That was the old figure that came out with the Dark Knight. And so you can get an idea of, and I thought this was a good figure back in the day. And for what it is, other than he's broken right now, it still is a good figure. So this is very comparable in height. Obviously, INART is a little bit taller, but the detail here, the flat gray versus the carbon fiber, the more vibrant bronze color. Obviously, this is trying to replicate what that does so much better. It's not a fair comparison at all. And definitely, well, you can see, you know what actor it's supposed to be. Just the sculpting is obviously far superior. But if you wanted to get an idea of how this pairs up with maybe one of your vintage figures, that is what we're looking at. And you can just see the craftsmanship that goes into what INART's providing. Now, this isn't really fair to compare, but here we have the Hot Toys 1/6 scale versus the INART 1/12. It's interesting how this is definitely more of a bronze color compared to that gold, but a lot of the same details are present. Obviously, INART's not going to have the posing eyes that the Hot Toys does. This is a little more translucent, but the capes are pretty much attaching at the same place. a lot of the details, I mean, the details are all pretty much spot on with each other, it feels like. Just obviously with this scale, they have a little more latitude to capture some of the materials better than you can with this. And obviously this, I've always worried about this kind of peeling. It hasn't yet. And this has got a softer feel because it's, you know, glued on in places. But they both have really good range of motion. Both have really long capes. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing is, what size of a collector are you, you know, or how much do you love a character that you want to have them in different sizes? And for me, I mean, it depends on the day of the week. Some days Michael Keaton's my favorite. Some days it's Robert Pattinson. Lately, I've been gravitating a lot towards Christian Bale because we have been covering Batman Begins for its 20th anniversary. And I really do like the portrayal that he did of the Dark Knight. So I thought it'd be fun to have a smaller version that I could play around with, maybe have on my desk, as opposed to this guy who's in a collection, you know, in a case. It's very interesting to me how they hold these accessories in the tray with paper or tape. And you can see it was like fly paper. I got like 3 of the batarangs stuck in here when I took it out. But just a quick look at different types of hands you get. Open-handed, some to hold guns. It should be worth mentioning that there are 4 batarangs, 2 in the folding style where you can see it has the sculpted in, has that sculpt down the middle where you can see where it would collapse if it wasn't this scale. And then more of the shuriken style, just flat batarangs. So you do get 2 different styles of batarangs, which is pretty cool. I didn't notice it at first. And go into that hand. I'm sure you could pose it differently. There we go. And yeah, we can't wrap up this review without looking at the Christian Bale head on the body with the cape. My 2.0 Hot Toys does have a Christian Bale likeness, and I think it's pretty good. I just, this might have it beat, if only because it's so much harder to do it at the smaller scale, and this looks just bang on to me. Like that is him. When you can't see, I don't see it, the Christian Bale mole that he has around his eyes. But, I mean, outside of that, the paint apps are really good on it. I think I'm getting a little bit of a bloom from the ring light, but in hand, you can see the different textures on his skin. And whoever painted this did an immaculate job. I mean, just artisan work. And that is really, really spectacular. Your simple, you know, wrist peg goes on. Well, I'm trying to hold it for the camera, but goes on fairly clean and very easy to put in the grapple gun. It's not a struggle. And obviously he's got, you know, the range of motion to where he can aim it up there. I like how the light catches this translucent piece here. I think that's a nice touch to it. This one's kind of awkward to have him hold it with the hot toy as well. So I will say that getting the hands or any of the accessories out of the case is really hard. They're in there well, so it's not like a Mafex where they're attached to some white clear plastic and you can get it out fairly easy. This took a little bit of awkwardness and work for me to get it out, but that just means they're in there very securely. Trying to get a good pose here for that EMP gun. This is really a stellar debut of INART's 1/12 scale line. You know, apparently they're working on a Catwoman from The Dark Knight Rises. I've heard rumor of maybe some Arkham video game series figures coming, and if they're of this quality, I can guarantee you that this isn't going to be my only one that I get. While the faceplates compared to, like, say, Hot Toys aren't quite as distinct as well, they're bigger scale Hot Toys counterparts, or even the 1/6 scale INART versions. It is a nice value to have those expressions, even if they're not as distinct as I would hope, as distinct as the Hot Toys ones are. They're very akin to what we've seen recently with the theatrical version of Superman from McFarlane. But the accessories are great. All the different hands are great. They come on easy. The figure's easy to move without feeling loose. The details are all there. And the cape feels great. It's got a great look to everything. Having the base is nice. It's a very elegant looking base. And I mean, come on, man, that this Christian Bale head sculpt alone makes it just worth it. Like, at this scale, it's incredible. I've never had a figure in this size that looks as much as the actor it's supposed to be portraying. So, yeah, hats off to INART for what they did here. And this is a great Batman figure. Just all sorts of detail. This is the second faceplate. And I can see it in hand. It's not necessarily my favorite one. I can see how it's a little different. But, I mean, the whole costume, where they hit all the seams, it makes for a really flawless looking figure. And if they can do this with like an Arkham Origins, they're going to be making a lot of these to come. So thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to BatmanOnFilm.com and go to the website for movie news, comic reviews, toy reviews, and more. Take care. I'm Batman.